Well, hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, Sunflowers and Diamonds. And I'm Jackie Williams, and I live in Kansas. So, I remembered my iPad, or I should say my husband's iPad. Let me see. I know there were comments on I think the last one or the one before that. So let me find it. How is everyone's week going? Mine went good. And then, unfortunately, this morning, I was up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Couldn't go back to sleep. So, my day has been very long. Very long. And let's see. The weather here is cold. Yes, it is. It is cold. We had some snow. Sunday evening, early Monday morning. So yeah. Okay, let me see here. Let's see. Oh, here we go. So let me read the comments. Bessie Curtis says, I enjoy hearing about your family when you were younger. It takes me back. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Yes, we had a very good Thanksgiving. We had supper by my sister. And then Crafty Chef Diamond says, Happy Thanksgiving. Love the food trivia. Cool that the Prairie balloon gas comes from Kansas. It says, I love Russell, Kansas for the Russell Stover's Candy Factory. Congratulations on purchasing half of a beef. Yummy. Have a wonderful week ahead. See you at the craft table soon. See you next weekend. And then I replied, I says, I have to make a correction to something you said. Russell Stover Candy isn't in Russell, Kansas. It's actually in Abilene, Kansas. But that's okay. Sometimes we forget. So, and then I think it was the time before. Let me see here. Yeah. Yep, 3 comments. Okay, Crafty Chef Diamond said, have a great day. And then, I can't say her name. Novia Hap. She says, hello, my beautiful mother. It's a beautiful day. Love you. God bless. Darling, lots of support from Indonesia. And then Kathy C said, put number 23 in there for me. So that was from the time before. So I think I'm all caught up now. And yes, I'm on my next section. I'm working on section 8 up here. And I'll move you down here in a minute. I wanted to read the prayer card for today. It says, bless those who persecute you. Don't curse them. Pray that God will bless them. Romans 12:14. There we go. And since I'm not started yet, I think I'll go ahead and read a trivia thing here, and then we'll get started. Because kind of a little bit to tell you, some exciting news. Okay. It's still illegal. It says every country has its share of strange laws. Some are a hangover from days gone by when they actually made sense and are never enforced now. Others are the result of knee-jerk politics. A 13-year-old boy was stabbed with a comb in Alabama, so it was made illegal to carry a comb there. yet others are just plain bizarre. Excuse me. Here is one. It says, in France, to address a pig as Napoleon. Okay. In Swiss apartment blocks, for a man to urinate standing up for anyone to flush a toilet after 10 p.m. So you got to remember, it's illegal in Swiss apartment blocks. Okay, that's how I got to read it. Sorry. It's still illegal to repaint a house in Sweden without a license. It's still illegal for a German office not to have a view of the sky. Well, yeah, I would like to see the sky. It's still illegal to kill or threaten a monarch butterfly in California. Well, why would you want to kill a butterfly? It's still illegal to kiss on a French railroad. Okay, so we just won't go to France to kiss. It's still illegal in Switzerland to wash a car, hang out laundry, or mow the lawn on a Sunday. It's still illegal to take a bear to the beach in Israel. It's still illegal in the Australian state of Victoria for anyone other than a qualified electrician to change a light bulb. Okay, that's interesting. It's still illegal for margarine to be the same color as butter in Quebec, Canada. It's illegal to have sexual relations with a porcupine in Florida. Okie dokie. It's still illegal in South Africa for young people to sit closer than 24 inches apart if they are wearing swimsuits. It's still illegal for a man to wear a skirt in Italy. It's still illegal to chain an alligator to a fire hydrant in Michigan. Okay, good to know. It is still illegal to be drunk in possession of a cow in Scotland. And then here's the one. It's still illegal to carry a comb in your pocket in Alabama. It's still illegal in Britain to hang a bed out of a window. Well, that's good to know. And it's still illegal to tie a giraffe to a telephone pole or a street lamp in Atlanta. Where do they come up with these? It's still illegal for parents to insult their children in Sweden. It's still illegal for a British member of Parliament to wear a suit of armor in the House of Commons. It's still illegal for a woman to eat chocolates on British public transportation. Oh dear, that would not be good. Because us women, we need our chocolate. It's still illegal not to have a bath at least once a year in Kentucky. Okay, KY Philly, you gotta fill us in. Is that true? It's illegal to hunt whales in Oklahoma, which is landlocked. Yeah, there are no whales in Oklahoma. If there are, oh my. It's illegal for a moose to walk on the pavement in Fairbanks, Alaska. Oh, sure, he knows he's not supposed to do that, so he's going to get a ticket. Oh, goodness. It's illegal to hunt camels in Arizona. I didn't know there were camels in Arizona. It's illegal to own or sell chewing gum in Singapore. It's illegal to pawn one's dentures in Las Vegas. It's illegal for a modem to connect on the first ring in Australia. It's illegal for a man to knit during the fishing season on the Channel Island of Jersey. It's illegal. Okay, we won't read that one. Seriously. To fish for salmon or sea trout on Sundays in Scotland. Okay, we won't read that one either. It's still illegal in Canada to pay a debt of more than 25 cents in pennies. It's illegal to dress as Batman in Australia. It's illegal in Scotland to refuse to let someone enter your house if they wish to use the commode. And it's still illegal to recycle eyeglasses in the U.S. All right, so there we have it. Some fun fact trivia. Oh dear. Like I said, I've had a long day, but that's okay. All right, I'm going to move you down. This right here. Okay, let me see. Oh. Yep. Okay. I don't know if I can take that down any further. I have to take my glasses off. Even though they have the built-in bifocals, it just makes it easier for me if I can take them off to diamond paint. Alright, so this section here, section 8, it's just two different shades of a brown. So, I'm working on that. Oh dear. So anyway, let me catch you up. Because I had taped my last weekend's WIP and Chat on Thanksgiving Day. And I posted it for Saturday. So then Friday, I had to work. Then Saturday, I was home. And I think it was Wednesday, I had went to go use my wash machine. And I did. And I happened to look over because my hot water tank is right next to the wash machine. Don't ask why, but that's how they did it. Anyway, I noticed there was like rust and calcium crud coming out of the bottom. So I had to call the plumber. And I said, can I send you pictures so you know what I'm talking about? And he said, yes. So I sent him pictures, and well, even before I sent him pictures, he said he probably wouldn't get to it until Monday. I said, that's fine. I said, we just will try not to use so much water because I didn't want anything to happen. So Saturday morning, we do have a small laundromat here in Ellis. It has 4 just regular size wash machines, and then kind of like a big dryer and 2 smaller ones that are built into the wall, which is fine. So I told my husband that Saturday morning I needed his help because I wanted to get down to the laundromat before other people got there. So luckily, we went down just a little bit after 7 o'clock, and he helped me get everything started, and then he left for work. And hold on a minute, I boo-booed here, I gotta pull this off. I don't know what I was thinking, but I wasn't. So I did that, and it was kind of raining and cold and windy. So that was Saturday. And then Sunday, we had decided we was going to go to Hoisington. Me, my husband, my sister, and my brother, because that's where um, my cousin and his wife live, and their grandchildren live in Great Bend, which isn't that far from each other. So we just decided we'd meet in Hoisington because we wanted to do an early Christmas with them, because like next week Saturday is the Christmas party in Garden City for the Credit Union. Then the following week on a Sunday, my husband's place is having their Christmas party at noon on a Sunday. I don't know why, but that's what they're doing. So anyway, we decided to do that, and we decided to order pizza and have that for our lunch. And so we get down there, and they, as in our godchildren, weren't going to be there until 12:30, which is fine. So we got there early, and we put their Christmas gifts underneath their tree, because they had just put up their tree, but they hadn't put any of their gifts underneath, which was fine. So they said, just put your gifts underneath, it's okay. So that's what we did. And so in the meantime, while we was waiting for them to come, I had taken 2 diamond paintings with me. Yeah, this one isn't even hung up. It's back in the box. I gotta hang it back up. My soldiers, because I wanted my cousin to make a picture frame for that. And then the one, what is it called? Half Dome. I can't think of the title. Anyway, so he took measurements on that. He said, oh my gosh. He said, you're going to do that? And I said, well, it's my plan. So anyway, he took measurements for both of them. And he said, how soon do you want them? I said, you don't have to rush. It's okay. I said, I'm still working on the one that I have right now. So anyway, our godchildren came. And it was so funny, the oldest girl, which is my sister and my brother's godchild, she's seen the gifts underneath the tree. Well, she's old enough now that she is able to read names. And so she's saying, this is Zoe's, this is Derek's, this is Riley's, and everything. Well, she happened to see that one of her gifts was a pretty big box, and it came from me and Gary. And oh my gosh, she wanted to open it right then and there. And we said, no, you have to wait. We're going to have lunch first, then we'll open gifts. No, I want to open now. But we finally convinced her we had to eat first. So we ate and everything. Well, we get done eating, almost done. We was just kind of finishing up. And the mom, which is my cousin's daughter, she says, hey, Jackie. I said, yes. She says, we want to know something. I said, okay, what? She said, would you and Gary be godparents to Riley? And I wanted to shout, yes, yes, yes. But I knew I better sign it first to Gary so he understood what was going on. So I signed it to him. I said, Grace wants to know if we would be Riley's godparents. And he goes, sure. It took me by surprise. I didn't know what he would say, really, which is fine. So, we're going to be Riley's godparents, which is really cool since she is deaf. And they were telling us that the day after Christmas, they have to go back to Kansas City Riley has to have a CAT scan done. Once she has that CAT scan done, then they'll decide more what they're going to do. For right now, they think here in February she'll get her cochlear implants. But whatever the CAT scan reads, it could be possibly January that she could get them already. So I told Grace, I said, when the time comes after she gets them and everything, and then you guys go back because they have to activate it. I said, I would love to be there, but I said, I don't think it's going to be possible. But I said, would you take a video? She says, yes. She says, we already plan on it. I said, oh, good. So I'll get to see everything when they activate her cochlear implant. So I'm excited for her. Oh, goodness. Why, but my neck hurts. Whew. So, yes. Oh, dear. I hate it when I'm up at 2 in the morning. And then when I sat on the couch, I was listening to my Rosary in a Year podcast, which is fine. And then I started getting sleepy. And then it was time. It was, I think by then it was 5 o'clock, and it was like, oh. Or no, it wasn't no 5 yet. I think it was only 4:30, and my husband got up. I told him, I said, I'm going to go lay down on the bed. I said, wake me up between 5:15 and 5:30. And so I went and lay down, and I did rest. But I was up then by 5 o'clock. Oops, dropped that drill. So, yeah. Okay, I have to think here. There. I have to keep everything organized here. Oh my goodness. Hot flash time. Sorry, guys. Oh. So then they open their gifts, and the oldest is the one who's seen her big box, Zoe. Before she even opened it, she says, I think there's a Barbie doll in this box. I said, I don't know. I said, hard telling. I said, I wrapped this some time ago. I can't remember. But you know, I knew because I just wrapped it Saturday that I was so far behind in getting things done. Anyway, after she opens it, she screamed, I told you it was a Barbie. And then what made it so funny is earlier in the week, my brother and I happened to talk. And he goes, you remember you gave Grace a Barbie that was sign language? And I said, yeah. And I guess Grace had called him and said something. And he goes, well, I don't remember if I gave you that. He said, I always had Jackie pick up your Barbie dolls for you. Because actually, like, today's her birthday. So I would get her 2 Barbies, one for her birthday and one for Christmas. And then after Gary and I started dating, and I think it's before we got married, they came out with the sign language Barbie. And I had purchased 2, and I gave her one, and the other one I kept, thinking that when we had a girl, I was going to give it to her. Well, we never had a girl, which is fine. So it was upstairs in our loft area, and I got to thinking of it, and I thought, oh, I'll give that to Riley, because I knew Grace had one, and I figured, well, she could always give that to Zoe if she wanted to. Well, she gave hers to Riley, which is fine, And then I gave mine to Zoe. And she goes, after Zoe opened it and said, "Mom, it's a sign language Barbie." They couldn't believe it. I said, well, I had purchased it thinking we was going to have a girl sometime and I would give it to her. I said, well, since we didn't have any kids, I said, I just thought I'd give it to Riley. I said, and then Andy told me you was giving yours to Riley, so I thought, well, that'll work out good. I'll give mine to Zoe because they're sisters. They need to be the same. So, yeah, she was tickled pink. Well, she wanted to open it right then and there, and we talked her out of it because there's some small pieces in there. We said, why don't you just wait until you get home? It'll work better. She was sad because she really, oh dear, wanted to open it, but she couldn't. And then I got each of the girls their glow-in-the-dark blankets. My godson got a glow-in-the-dark blanket. He was so excited for that. So yeah, we had a good Christmas with them. And it's so funny because after we got there, my sister said this is, because it was so cold on Sunday. The weather was already changing. Anyway, my sister said, yeah, and last year when we came down, it was so nice. We went outside and played with the kids. But today we can't because it's so flipping cold out. But it's okay. We still had a good time. And my sister bought Zoe Operation, and then Derek, she got him Candyland. So that way they would have their own games. So yeah. And then, like I said, this week hasn't been too bad. I've been a little busy at work, but today was a slow day. I got everything caught up, and then, like I said, it was a long day. I think it was around 2:30, and I thought, is it time to go home? Yeah, I was so ready to go. Oh my goodness. And then I went to this one, oh, it's like a mom and pop diner thing, and got a supper because I did not feel like cooking tonight. So I got a green bean dumpling soup. My husband wanted a grilled cheese sandwich, and I got a steak sandwich. I ate most of it, but then I got full and I said, that's enough. It's like, ugh. So, yep. So that means next weekend, I probably will not be doing a WIP and Chat because we'll be going to Garden City, and I just know I won't get to it. So you'll get a break from me. And it was funny when we was eating our pizza for lunch on Sunday. I said something to my cousin. I said, you remember when we go over by Grandma and Grandpa for Thanksgiving, and after we ate, we went downstairs and played kickball? He laughed. He said, yes. I said, how did we do that? He said, I don't know. He said, I'm surprised we didn't get in trouble. I said, you and me both. And I said, we had so much fun. Oh my goodness. And then Christmas by Grandma and Grandpa. Oh my, that was lots of fun too. She would get us gifts until I think, I don't know how old. Then she started giving us all, I think, just $20. But back then, when you got $20, you thought you had the world. It's like, oh my gosh, what can I do with $20? You know. But it was so much fun. And then, I'm trying to think. Give me a sec here. Oops, that one don't go there. Trying to think. 1993, my grandpa Unring passed away the day before Valentine's. Then in 1994, my aunt, she was the second oldest. She was the oldest of the girls, but the second oldest of all the kids. She passed away. And that Christmas, oh my gosh, that was a rough year. Because we had her funeral and everything, and then I think it was like the next day was Christmas, and yeah, it just wasn't the same. But anyway, we got through it. She always said Grandpa went first so she could show us how to do everything, because she was the secretary for the priests there in Hayes. So, she knew how to do things. So, she did. Grandpa passed away first, and then she passed away, and we knew what to do then. But she was so much fun. And like I said, she was the secretary for the priest. And I remember when I was little, I always wanted to be like her and be a secretary too. And it's funny, only one of the nieces is a secretary at another church there in Hayes. So, which I think is cool. Oh, I think I just goobered. Yep. Boy, you gotta pay attention, Jackie. Don't pay attention. There we go. Whoops! He jumped ship. Oh, and then yesterday, after work, I had to run to my pharmacy to get some meds. Well, I thought it was one, but it turned out to be 2 meds, which is fine. Anyway, in the meantime, I had 2 messages, and before I drove off, I decided to check my phone. And one of the messages was from my aunt. So I kind of just glanced at it. And then after I got home, I read it. Excuse me, I need some water. She goes, I bought a diamond painting and I'm doing it. And I thought, oh my. So she wanted to know about my setup. So I took a picture of the table. And then I took a picture of the whiteboard. And I sent it to her. And then I said, the whiteboard is very helpful. And she said, I just purchased one. I went ahead and purchased one. I said, okay. I said, you'll like it. Then I said, you may want to get a cordless vacuum pen. I said, it's helpful. I said, especially if you end up doing square diamonds. Whoops. No, this is the one I want. Never mind. My goodness, I'm not. I guess that's what I get for yakking my jaw. I'm not paying attention. So, and then I said, well, what diamond painting did you get? And she said, I got a sunflower. I thought, oh, cool. But she says, I don't think I'll do a big one. I said, well, that's okay. You don't have to do a big one. I said, do the size you want. She did say she purchased some Christmas ornaments off of Amazon. So I thought, oh, good. She says, you inspired me. I said, oh, okay. I said, I'm glad I inspired you to do that. That's when she said, I don't think I'd be able to do a big one like you. I thought, well, I didn't either, but I'm doing it, so. Yep. I hear a doggy out there. It's the neighbor across the street. They have a dog. And sometimes they leave that dog out and I think they forget about him. He's out there a very long time barking. I feel sorry for him. It's like he just wants to be left out to pee, then he wants back in because it's cold out there. It's like, don't forget him. Whew. My hot flash is terrible. Alright guys, this may be a short one. Jackie is very tired. Yep, it's going to be a short one. So, thank you for joining me on this WIP and Chat. When I'm done with 8, I'll probably draw for the next section. And I kept everybody's name with the number, and since I had section 34 was my nephew, I had him pick another number, so I'll just have to change that. And then I got all the little slips, I'll put that in and draw out another one and see who the lucky winner is. So, with that being said, I'm going to say goodnight, because it is a Friday night, and I'll post this tomorrow morning. That way you guys can see it, and won't see you next week. Hopefully the week after. Okay? So have a good evening, and a good weekend, and a good week, and we'll catch you the next time. Bye.